how do I make my jewelry business grow? Now, you could also just replace jewelry business with a goldsmith shop or stone setting shop or whatever has to do with handmade jewelry. And the reason we are going to talk about this is that getting customers for goldsmith shops and jewelry business in general is the number one biggest problem in the industry. At least that's what I found when I made a industry-wide survey asking the owners of these jewelry shops and goldsmith shops in general what was their biggest problem. They all said getting customers was their number one biggest problem. So the reason I can talk about this is that I've been told that for YouTube videos and in videos in general, proof is very important. I agree with it. So this is my proof. I've generated 80,000 plus US dollars using Facebook and Instagram ads for getting leads for goldsmith shops and jewelry shops in general. So this is a screenshot of a Go High Level dashboard. Now, I have obviously I can take many more screenshots if here if I just go down with these, but I don't want to blur all of the names out, like 100 names. So yeah, that's the proof. And then here is the proof of me generating a bunch of leads. So I have generated over 100,000 leads at this point. Now, obviously way more, but 100,000 plus leads just using Facebook and Instagram. So just using Facebook and Instagram. Oh, can I write? There we go. Just using Facebook and Instagram, I've been able to generate 100,000 plus leads. Here are a couple of lead lists. I'll just go down. Yeah. So here are a couple of lead lists, and with a bunch of leads, here are the lead lists. These are leads that gave us their name, last name, email, and phone number. Super basic, and it's just for us to be able to contact them. So this is my proof. I've been told that I had to do proof segments for my YouTube videos. So there you go. That's my proof. Now let's go back. So we should talk about the truth about how most jewelry and obviously goldsmith shops run ads. So most goldsmith shops actually they don't go into Meta Ads Manager. They just start boosting random posted content. So they see a photo that they posted. They said that's a very nice photo. I think this will do very well with ads. So they just click boost photo, right, or boost post, and then they run the ad. Now I have to tell you that's not the way you run ads, right? That's frankly throwing money away, frankly, right? You don't get to have control over the tracking. You don't install a pixel. You don't get to duplicate your posts in any meaningful way and actually a split test, A B test, right? Test if this did better than this and then replicate and stuff like that. So you don't have the full dashboard of running ads. So boosting posts, by the way, not running ads. You're just wasting money. I'd highly suggest you don't do that. Most goldsmiths that do that, that run ads are doing that, by the way. Then this is why most jewelry meta ads don't grow the business. So people don't usually buy engagement rings or custom pieces the first time they see you. What normally happens is that they see your ad. Let's say they see your ad, right? They see the ad. Then instead of clicking buy now, they go to your social medias. So they go to your IG and then they check it out. If they like something, they'll check out your website. If you don't have a clear call to action all the way through, they fuck off. So that's how it works. And so that is why most jewelry ads at the start, most jewelry businesses at the start in the beginning, they don't get customers from ads. So they run an ad for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, one, and then don't get customers. They get some leads, but they don't get customers. So they say they get angry. Obviously, they spent what 5,000 kroner, 1,000. They spend a lot of money, or a lot of money figuratively. For them, it's a lot of money, obviously, and then they get angry because they don't have customers. Obviously, it's obvious, it's reasonable, right? But that is not how the ads game work, right? So most successful jewelry brands are running Facebook ads. Most jewelry brands. So, for example, if you just go to ads library and then you go shop by shop, you can go all the local shops in your city. I've done this in Stockholm, for example, right? So you go on Stockholm, you just click on Google Maps, one shop behind the after another, and then you go to ads library on Facebook, and then you type in their name. Most of them, they're not running ads. But then you see which ones are running ads, and they're always the most successful ones. And they always have like 20 plus ads running currently, which they have obviously split tested. So most successful jewelry brands and goldsmiths, they're running ads. They're running Facebook and Instagram, by the way, right? There are some obviously local shops that run Google Ads, which I touched on 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 the problem of Google Ads last video, and then you can check that out if you want. But it's a stupid problem, right? You target keywords, and then if one letter is missing from the keyword that you target, that you are actually paying for, by the way, your ad doesn't get shown. Like it's so stupid. But anyway, so this is why Facebook and Instagram ads are dominating the jewelry market. Now, just to talk about this, they are only dominating the high level jewelry market, right? Not most local gold shops, right? They're doing this because ads work so well to get leads, right? They show an ad. So this is what Facebook does. You run an ad to a form, to a contact form. This is a contact form. People who see the ad click on the ad and then go to the contact form, give you their contact info, and then you as the shop owner, or obviously those big shops have setters and stuff like that. And then they are able to turn those into money because they turn those into customers. So those people who actually saw the ad gives gives the gives us basically, if we are running the ad, gives us their contact info so that we can call them or write to them, DM them, email them. Obviously, we can give them our offer. That's it. That's the whole point of running Facebook ads. Right? That's why it dominates. Right? You're getting your hand into a pool of customers, of strangers, of leads that want your stuff, and grabbing them with your hand, and you're going, "You want to buy my stuff?" Some of them will say yes, and then some of them will buy. Obviously, right? So that is why they dominate. It's a very important thing to distinguish Facebook and Instagram ads, which are interruption based ads. So you're just scrolling, like if I was just scrolling through social media and I'm not looking for jewelry, but then an ad for custom made wedding rings just appears, and I'm about to get married, or I just got proposed or something, right? And then it gets shown to you. You were not even searching for it, but it gets shown to you. On the other hand, on Google Ads, someone has to be looking for your shop so that they can see your ad, which is a little bit stupid because in my opinion, obviously, my opinion is a little bit stupid because you're competing in a very expensive market, one for very few people. That's the stupid thing about Google Ads. Again, it works well, but it, it's very expensive, right? And you're competing with very, very few amounts of people, amounts of strangers, right? Now, the easiest way to actually start running ads is your organic content. So most goldsmith shops, most jewelry shops are inherently very vis how do I say it? Very visible, very visual businesses. Obviously, it's jewelry. So you take a photo of your jewelry, and there are going to be 50 women just go, "Oh my god!" Right? Obviously, it's very visual. It should be like that. So what I would start doing is that. By the way, we do this with the goldsmiths, right? So we grab your best performing content. Performing content doesn't mean amounts of views, by the way, right? It's shares, there's interactions, conversions. There we can attribute several different content, pieces of content, organic content, free content that you just post from your cell phone to sales. We can attribute that, right? So we attribute that, see which ones work the best, and then we grab those and we put it as ads. What we do is we just clip the beginning, clip the end, put a hook, put a CTA. That's it. They work like a charm. They work really well. Obviously, we have to duplicate them, right? So that is the thing about turning your best organic posts into ads. They work very well instead of just creating random ads, right? Because the thing is that organic performance is real market feedback, right? Organic performance is real market feedback. If you post something and it does well, that's organic feedback. People are saying, I like this good, right? And it's for free. So use that, get it to paid traffic, and you'll be able to generate an enormous amount of leads from that, right? And that's the thing about using lead generation ads instead of web traffic. So basically, Google ads running to your website, and instead of running so Google Ads instead of lead gen ads. That's the difference, right? So people, instead of going to your website and then leaving if they don't feel interested, you're able to target them once retarget them twice and then give your offers consistently. And you're able to use content that already worked on your Facebook and Instagram ads. So that's the difference, right? Obviously, it works much better. At least that's what we have seen, right? Now, a big thing about Facebook and Instagram ads is that most goldsmiths run one ad. They make one shitty ad and then they don't get customers for 3 weeks. They spend 10,000 kroner or 1,000 US dollars on the ad. They get no customers and they say ads don't work. That's what happens most of the time. What you actually have to do is you have to grab your organic content, the best ones, and then put it into an ad. There you go. So you grab what's already working, you make it into an ad, and then what do you do after that? You just duplicate the winners, and you do that for 12 months. Oy, that's an M, right? MO, and that's it. That's the game of ads. You grab the things that's already working, you put a hook, you put a CTA. CTA means call to action. CTA just means tell the strangers that are seeing your Facebook ad what to do next. That's it. So I know it sounds complicated, but it's super simple. I promise you, it's kids play, right? So that's what you do. And that's the ads game, right? You take what's already doing really, really well for free, you make it into an ad, then you duplicate them, and then you do that for an enormous amount of time. And what follows is leads walking into your shop. That's what follows. Obviously, you have to have a system. Very again, when I say system, is just click three buttons to automate a message, right? And then that message will be whenever a lead gives you their contact info, that message will automatically be sent to them so that they get contact within 60 seconds. You can also call them, which is what I like to tell goldsmiths to do. Most of them don't. So that's why we have automated messages, right? And then that's what we do. Now, the the big thing about that is that it's consistent, right? It's a consistent system. Because what? Again, you grab what's winning and then you duplicate. That's it. And what we do is every Monday, 4 hours every Monday, we duplicate the ads, the winning ads. And then we just toggle off. We don't delete the losing ads because we want to see which are the losers, right? So we don't delete them. What we do is just toggle off the loser ads. We can also do this by setting rules. So on Facebook, you can have rules, automated rules. So you can just say, if this ad performs this in this amount of time, toggle it off, shut it down. I don't want to spend more money on that. So you could do that as well. Right? So that's why consistency beats basically viral success. We are kind of hoping for this one post that just gets a million views. Oh my God, and people starts walking in. It's not going to happen. At least that's not what we have seen. I've never seen that. Maybe it happens. Maybe it has happened, but I've never seen that. What I've seen is that we are able to make a lead generation machine if we are just consistently duplicating the winners. That's it. It's super simple, right? So, how does this actually change your business? Is that I normally make this example of a jewelry shop owner, a goldsmith walking into their shop on Monday and they've worked all weekend, right? And they walk in on Monday and then they just wait there, right? They sit in the desk and they just wait there. They take photos of their jewelry shop, of their jewelry, whatever. Maybe they are working on a piece from last, whatever. But no one is walking in, and you have rent to pay, right? So it's a very horrible place to be. So that's why this sort of thing changes. If you're able to have a system, one system with one replicative model, that you just duplicate the winners, create new ads that duplicate the winners, and do that for a long period of time. I have seen that 16 people walk into your shop every single day, and you are able to close maybe one, maybe two, and that's repeatable, right? That's why I like this system, right? It's not flashy in any way. Frankly, it's very boring to do. Doing one thing for 12 months, very boring, right? So, but it works, right? And obviously, you for ads to work, obviously you have to have your pricing help you, right? So, for example, if you're selling 5,000 kroner or $500 jewelry, but you are spending 15,000 kroner or $1,500 on ads, it's not going to work, obviously. So your pricing has to reflect your advertising. It has to help. That's why normally we do 3 to 1 in advertising, right? That's our rule. So um, for every $1 you put into advertising, you have to get three back. That's the basic rule. Now, obviously, for local goldsmith shops, it's much higher. It's much higher than 3 to 1, obviously. You can understand why. You got taxes, you got rent, you got fulfillment, you got a lot of stuff. Even if you're hiring someone, you have to pay that, right? An employee. And then you have your stuff. All of that comes before even taking money home. So that's why you need an enormous amount of leads consistently walking into your shop. That's the whole point. And I was thinking about this today also, that all of this is digital, right? Marketing is digital. You don't run an ad on a newspaper. You don't run many ads on magazines. Well, some people do, and that's fine, right? But most of the time, marketing is done through a cell phone, right? Through a laptop. Right now, I'm using a laptop to film this, right? So most of the marketing is done here. But if this digital marketing, if like for example, clicks, right? If clicks doesn't get people to actually walk into your shop, it's useless. It's absolutely useless, right? So that's why we do this. We put an ad in front of strangers. We tell them, give us your contact info so that we can actually offer you this jewelry that you just saw, that you just wanted, because it's beautiful jewelry, right? So give us your contact info. We'll contact you. We'll offer you, and then we'll book a call, right? Obviously, the call would be them walking into your shop. That's the call. Okay? So actually book a time slot, right, that they actually walk into your shop. Then they walk into your shop, you sell them very, very expensive jewelry, and then you have them for the rest of your life. You paid for the lead, right? You have their contact info. You sold them. They walked into your shop. You can sell them again. And then what do you do after you sell them again? You sell them again, and then again, and then again. People don't buy one piece of jewelry and then say that's the last piece of jewelry I will ever buy in my life. No, every month they want another one, right? So you paid once for a lead, and then you have them for life. And that's kind of how build a repeatable process. Now, actually, this is what I talked about last video, but so most goldsmiths rely a lot on word of mouth, right? But word of mouth kind of functions like this. This is your business. I'll try to make a nice house. Okay, so that's your business, right? Horrible, but that's your business. And then how referrals work is that people who already gone into your business leave and then they bring you another customer. So that's back end. This referrals and word of mouth, that's back end. And that's back end customer acquisition. What you need is front end acquisition to be able to have that back end acquisition, right? And this front end depends on volume, amount of people walking into your shop. That's it, right? So that's why this is very unreliable for front end. So people say, I have customer referrals are my referrals is how I get customers. Word of mouth, people talking to other people and saying this shop is very good at jewelry. And so some of them actually walk into my shop, right? But the reason that won't grow your business, like grow it, like one year you have one shop, next year you have another and another, and then you build a chain, and then you would be able to construct a showroom and grow, right? Things that goldsmiths want to do with their shop, right? So obviously that depends on revenue, right? So the reason this won't grow your goldsmith shop is that it's not enough volume, right? From 20 people, you get one referral. On the other hand, we need 20 people walking into your shop, right? Consistent. So that is why sort of this back end system of word of mouth is not dependable, right? It doesn't get you enough volume. Hope this video was useful. I hope I answered the question, how do I actually grow my jewelry business, which is basically duplicate the winners on ads. To create ads, go to your organic content that perform the best, turn them into ads, put a hook, put a CTA, get them get them to walk into your shop, and then sell them very expensive stuff. And obviously, there's a system to actually get referrals, but that's beyond the scope of this video. So that's how you grow your jewelry shop. If you found this valuable, you can click the link in the description of this video. We will actually teach you how to do this click by click.